PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Just a heads up, product knowledge. I've always had the thought that if you're going to explain technology that somebody's never used before, the best way to explain it is within a story. So the three ways adults learn. We learn visually by what we see, or audibly by what we hear, or kinesthetically by what we actually interact with, touch and feel. And I believe that you can do a verbal visual so that you could be talking and have somebody visualize it or actually put them in the story. Some of the greatest storytellers in the world, you can actually see the story unfold when they're talking. So I believe in our industry, if I'm going to try to charge somebody extra money for a vehicle, if they're outside their price range, if it gets a little uncomfortable for them, then I need to make them understand that they're getting some items or features on a vehicle that they're unfamiliar with that are really going to enhance the experience of driving this vehicle, make it safer, make it more fun to drive, make it more challenging. Just, again, being able to relate a story. Most of you that know me know that I'm a real giant high mileage Toyota buyer. So I normally don't buy anything unless it's already got 150,000 miles plus on it. Currently driving, my driver right now is a 2008 Limited Tundra with 192,000 miles on it. And there is nothing wrong with that truck. That truck is awesome. Courtney and I were taking a trip to Phoenix and back, a pretty fast trip. I decided that I was going to expedite my gas mileage, and I was shout out to Toyota Denton. I went and picked up a track car. So I picked up the 2018 Highlander. I figured with the elevated gas mileage I'd get in the Highlander, I'd pay for my rental, which really pretty worked out. The round trip, a little less than 2,200 miles. And normally I would fly, but we drove. So on the way down there, went up through Albuquerque, went over the mountains into the Arizona area. It was snowy. It was fantastic. The Highlander was a tremendous ride. In fact, this is the longest ride I've been in a Highlander ever. And I got to tell you, if you're looking to buy an SUV, oh my, we all know it's great. But if you've not really spent that much time and pressed it so you're making these giant drives in a day, I mean, getting out of the vehicle, you're still comfortable. You have the ability to move. The comfort level was phenomenal. The drive was phenomenal. You and I already know that. I just had a chance to be able to put this many miles on it in a short period of time. On the way back, less scenic tour. We're going to go back through El Paso and back up into Fort Worth out of Phoenix. So I decided to test one of the safety features. I said, you know, it's going to be a long drive and there's not going to be a whole lot going on. So dynamic radar cruise control. So I left a little bit before 5 o'clock, Phoenix, Arizona, work day. Got out on the 202, a lot of traffic, moving pretty fast, not a big deal. Could get over in the HUV lane, I did that. And then I got on the 60 and then I connected to Interstate 10. I set the cruise control from the moment I got in the vehicle until when I arrived at my house by Texas Motor Speedway just past Fort Worth, Texas, which was almost 1,100 miles. I'm going to tell you that I touched the brake in normal driving less than 10 times. If I told you it was only 8 times, then you'd know I was actually counting. And I kind of made it a game. So the traffic was heavy coming through Phoenix. I could use the other cars in the other lanes to slow me down or to speed me up. And once I left there, then I just programmed it onto 3 bars. I got out on the highway and just cruised down the highway and we made it all the way to Las Cruces the first night. The next day I went through El Paso during traffic. So I moved it down to 2 bars. And I used the traffic back and forth to go through work zones to slow down. I was driving a little bit over the speed limit. Speed limit was anywhere from 65 to 80 miles an hour on my trip, posted speed limit. And really didn't touch the brake very much at all going through El Paso. Then I got on the open highway, and if you've been on that highway before, Interstate 10 connects to Interstate 20. There's nothing out there, so I set the cruise at about 82 miles an hour and just cruised on in. Went through Midland, Odessa. For you guys that don't know, in that Permian Basin area, the oil field traffic is gigantic there now. It's the boom is going on. And so everybody's driving a truck and it's all loaded down with all kinds of equipment on there, toolboxes on there. And if there is an inch of room for them to whip into traffic and whip out of traffic to try to save themselves a couple of feet on their trip, they will cut you off. So I'm telling you that this cruise control works so well that no matter how many people cut me off, and I went down to 1 bar there, because if you're 2 bars or 3 bars there, they're going to cut in on you all day long, and I guess you end up going backwards. So only touched the brake a couple of times through that oil-filled traffic. Then I got back out on the open road and made it through Fort Worth just a little after rush hour traffic. So I made this a game. But to be honest with you, I've been with Toyota a long time, and to really put that technology through its paces makes me understand that we can build an autonomous vehicle. There was 2 times, and I'll call myself 2 times, that I went to the brake because I got a little bit panicked, didn't trust the system, and before I could touch the brake, the system was already reducing speed and applying the brake. What a tremendous technology. Everybody that I'm talking to right now understands the way this cruise control works. I just don't know that we always take the time to go out and really experience what this really does for the consumer. I mean, you get into a situation where that makes it safer for you to drive on the highway because at extended hours, you phase in and you phase out. The vehicle will post you up. It will take control of the vehicle. It will make your family safer. These are the features that our manufacturer are applying to our car technology so that we can sell a vehicle at a fair profit to a customer and have them come back to buy another one. This has got to be by far the greatest car manufacturer in the history of the earth. Not too much, not adding stuff that's not necessary, but always trying to make the vehicle better for the end user. Dynamic radar cruise control, 1,100 miles, 8 touches of the brakes, unbelievable. PK52, the Saturday morning meeting, product knowledge.